Friends from the media, good afternoon. Welcome to the press conference. Now the floor is open. China News Service. The Foreign Ministry recently released flight information to Chinese passengers stranded in Middle East countries and suggested their prompt return to China. Can you update us about the progress? Over the past few days, the Foreign Ministry has worked with the Civil Aviation Administration to sharply increase the flight capacity of domestic airlines and urgently evacuate Chinese passengers stranded in the Middle East. Relevant diplomatic missions engaged with their host countries to facilitate Chinese airlines' flights, issued timely security alerts and flight schedules, and further provided care and counseling services. Through concerted efforts, over 10,000 Chinese passengers have left countries including the UAE, Oman, and Saudi Arabia in a safe and orderly manner. Given the protracted conflict between the US, Israel, and Iran, some airports in the Middle East haven't fully restarted operation. The Foreign Ministry once again advises Chinese nationals not to travel to Iran's neighboring countries and regions affected by the conflict. Our diplomatic missions in relevant countries will do everything possible to provide necessary assistance to Chinese nationals in need. Next one, please.
发言人好，我是阿拉比电视网。
TVB. The tense situation in the Middle East may lead to long-term market concerns, and the situation may impact energy production and the stability of export channels in the Gulf region. China's energy imports are highly dependent on the Middle East region. Some outside of China are concerned about the security of China's energy supply. And at the same time, the unilateral actions of individual countries have triggered discussions on the rules-based international order. Some believe that the geopolitical games are affecting the global energy paradigm and the stability of the industrial chain. In China's view, how to respond to the impact of current geopolitical conflicts on global energy security, and given the rising external uncertainty, how will China coordinate between development and security? And how will China ensure its energy security and long-term development interests?
We are deeply concerned over the continued tensions in the Middle East. Parties need to stop the military operations at once, avoid further escalation, and prevent the regional turmoil from having a greater impact on global economic growth. Energy security is of vital importance to the world economy. All parties have the responsibility to ensure stable and unimpeded energy supply. China will do what is necessary to protect its energy security. For anything specific, I'd refer you to competent authorities. Next one, please.
Question for Anadolu Agency. Foreign Minister Wang Yi, during the NPC press conference on the weekend, expressed his disappointment about recent conflict in the Middle East, saying this conflict should not have happened in the first place. In phone conversations with counterparts from Kuwait and Bahrain yesterday, Minister Wang said sovereignty, security, and territorial integrity of Gulf countries should be respected, as well as Iran. In this situation, what do you think next step should be? How should this conflict can be stopped? will China, for example, consider a direct appeal to the US, the party that initiated the conflict, and tell them to stop the war and return to negotiation? Thank you.
China is gravely concerned of the growing tense situation in the Middle East. Over the past days, China has intensively reached out to various parties. Foreign Minister Wang Yi had phone calls with his counterparts from multiple countries for in-depth exchange of views on the situation. At the press conference during the two sessions, Foreign Minister Wang Yi stressed that to find the right and proper solution to the issues relating to Iran and the Middle East, we need to respect national sovereignty, reject the abuse of force, uphold non-interference in international affairs, and promote political settlement of hotspot issues, and major countries should play a constructive role and use their strength in goodwill. And Zhai Jun is now on a visit to the Middle East for shuttle efforts. Protraction and escalation of the conflict doesn't serve any party's interest. China will continue to maintain communication with relevant parties, including parties to the conflict, to carry out mediation, build consensus, and de-escalate the situation. Next one, please.
Hello, from Sharp News. Given the ongoing Iranian attacks on Saudi Arabia, which have targeted the civilian infrastructures and oil facilities, how might this development impact the Beijing agreements between Saudi and Iran? And if you please could give us an update about the visit of the Chinese special envoy to Middle East. Thank you.
On your first question, the hard-won Saudi Arabia-Iran reconciliation is the strategic asset of all countries in the region and should be all the more cherished and further advanced. On your second question, Special Envoy of the Chinese government on the Middle East issue is on a visit to the Middle East. Readouts about his visit have been released on the MFA website, and we will continue to share information in a timely manner. You may check back for updates. Next one, please.
Thank you, spokesperson. Another question for Anadolu Agency. You have mentioned about Jai Jun's visit to Middle Eastern countries as a diplomatic mission to mediate between regional countries for the solution of this crisis. Can you explain what the scope of this mission will be? Will it be a mediation between just the Iran and the Gulf countries, or will it involve US and Israel too? And which countries will he visit after Saudi Arabia? Can you mention about his itinerary? And lastly, is there a possibility of an arrangement of a safe passage of oil exports from the Strait of Hormuz in the context of this visit? Is this item, the energy security in the Hormuz Strait, is in Ambassador's agenda? Thank you.
I just mentioned that Special Envoy Zhai Jun is on a visit to the region, and he is playing a role in engaging with relevant parties. Our priority is to stop the military operation and bring relevant parties to the negotiation and dialogue. On the information of his visit, we will release in a timely manner. You may check back for updates. On the Strait of Hormuz, the Strait of Hormuz and waters nearby are an important international trade route for goods and energy. Keeping the region safe and stable serves the common interests of the world. China urges parties to stop the military operations at once, avoid further escalation, and prevent the regional turmoil from having a greater impact on global economic growth. Next one, please.
question for Anadolu Agency. U.S. President Donald Trump said he has already someone else on his mind to replace Mujtaba Khamenei, Iran's newly elected leader. What is China's comment? Thank you.
The election of the new supreme leader is a decision made by Iran based on its constitution. Non-interference in internal affairs is a basic principle in international relations.
下一个问题。
Thank you, Bloomberg News. Taiwan is considering selling debt for the first time, and this would be to finance overseas investments in its foreign partners. This is part of the democracy's efforts to resist diplomatic isolation that's been imposed by China. Would the Foreign Ministry like to comment? Thank you.
民进党当局
The DPP authorities have time and again used the trade and investment as pretext for Taiwan independent separatist activities in the world to expand so-called international space. Such malign activities are doomed to failure. This despicable tactic of DPP authorities will never change the fact, supported by history and the law, that Taiwan is part of China's territory, nor can it undermine international commitment to the One China principle or stop the historical process towards the complete reunification of the motherland. Next one, please.
Thank you. A question from AFP. I wonder if you could tell us what was discussed during the meeting yesterday between the Ministry of Transport and the shipping companies Maersk and MSC. Did they discuss the Strait of Hormuz? Thank you.
中方主管部门已经发
Competent authorities have already released relevant information. I'd refer you to them. Next one, please.
Thank you. Question for Anadolu Agency. I want to go back to the Strait of Hormuz question. U.S. President Donald Trump said yesterday, we will strike 20 times harder if Iran does anything to stop the flow of oil within the Strait of Hormuz. Meanwhile, Tehran blames U.S. and Israel's attacks for disruptions to shipping in the region. The international community is concerned about there might be a deadlock here, and also a large amount of Chinese oil imports are passing through this waterway. So what will China do if that kind of stoppage, a deadlock happens in this critical waterway? Thank you.
刚才我
I just answered relevant questions. Let me stress once again that the Strait of Hormuz and waters nearby are important international trade route for goods and energy. Keeping this region safe and stable serves the common interests of the international community. Now the priority is that all parties should stop the military operation, avoid further escalation of the tensions, and prevent regional turmoil from having a greater impact on global economic growth. Next one, please.
Thank you, AFP. Some travel agencies and ticket sellers have said that the train route from Beijing to Pyongyang in North Korea is going to reopen on Thursday. I wondered if you could confirm this or provide any details. Thank you.
中朝是友好近邻。
China and the DPRK are close neighbors. Keeping the operation of relevant train services are very important to maintaining exchanges between two peoples. China supports the competent authorities to maintain communication and provide more favorable conditions for people-to-people exchanges between the two countries. Next one, please.
还有其他问题吗？
Any more questions? Then let's call it a day.